Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Carmen Chloe, creator of SingleMarriedWidow.com. We are a safe space and a community for widows. Our vision, my vision, is to help widows to grieve, to heal, and to create a purposeful life after loss. And you can find out more about that via SingleMarriedWidow.com. That will give you access to the community and the products and services that I offer. So in today's video, and if you want to learn about me, who I am, how I became inducted into this sisterhood, this sorority of sorts that no woman wants to be a part of, you can watch some of my older videos. They're categorized by title. So again, I'm Carmen Chloe, creator and CEO of SingleMarriedWidow.com. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about how do you heal and recover from widowhood. December 16, 2019 made 1 year that I have been on this journey of widowhood. I had a lot of things going on, like my children and I, we went into an immediate transition. We had to move from where we were living. We stayed with family for a while. From there, we actually went from one state to the next. So in addition to grieving, I had a lot of life things going on as well. So I really didn't have time to grieve in the very beginning. I had to literally give myself permission and become intentional about grieving. So I spent last year, I'm going to say 2019 was my year to grieve. Not saying that I won't continue to grieve, because I feel like, it's a process. In terms of healing, to me, that's something separate. And all the experts have all this advice on grieving and healing and the stages of grief, which, by the way, has nothing to do with a person who's actually grieving the loss of a loved one. Do your research. I had to do my research. But like all the experts have all this advice, and a lot of the experts have not experienced grief and having to learn how to heal on a personal level. So that's why I wanted to become a voice for widows. I wanted to become a voice for grief awareness so that I could share my journey, and as I learned, share with other people. So what I feel like I've learned in terms of grieving is that you have to allow yourself to grieve, because I've met widows who are like, I don't cry. I haven't cried. Anytime, I feel like I'm going to cry, I stop myself or I go somewhere else. And it's like, you have to be intentional about grieving. Like, you have to let that stuff come out of you. And that's what I did all last year. Every time I felt grief coming upon me, I allowed for it to flow out of me. I cried, I wept, all of that, wiped my tears off, and then I kept it moving, because I understand that it has to come out. We grieve because we loved, we cared about the person, we loved them. That's why we grieve. So you need to let those emotions flow out of you. In terms of healing, because I would have people, my wise counsel around me, and some of them will say to me, you need to heal. Like, Carmen, you need to heal. Like, you're doing a lot. You need to heal. And I'd be like, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does that mean? I need to heal. So as I went along on my journey, in my opinion, healing is a lifelong journey, because I don't feel like I'll ever be like 100% healed from the loss of my late husband, or maybe I will. But in my mind, it's like, I feel like healing is a lifelong journey, because it was a whole life that's not here anymore. I spent 10 years with my late husband. 6.5 of those years we were married. So for me, healing is a lifelong process, but also I feel like you have to take responsibility for your healing. Yes, we didn't ask for this. Yes, we'd rather be with our late spouse, living happily ever after, but that is no longer our lives. It's different. So I had to become intentional about my healing. Like, you know what? Life has knocked me down, but I'm not going to stay down on the floor. I'm not going to have a pity party. I'm not going to stay here. Like, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to create a purposeful life after loss. And that's a part of the vision of Single Married Widow, because a lot of the loss of spouse groups and a lot of the widow groups, like, yes, they are great. You need a safe space amongst other people that get it. But some of them were depressing to me. Some of them were like, okay, it gave the impression of like, okay, this is my life now. I have to stay here. And the way my mentality is, like, I've never been that type of person. Okay. I've never been that type of person. So I had already known, like, yes, this has cut me to my core, but I'm going to be intentional about grieving. I'm going to be intentional about healing. and I'm not going to stay in this place. So some of the things that I did to intentionally begin my journey of healing, I want to share them with you. Okay. Number one, and I am my spiritual beliefs, I am a disciple of Christ. I believe in God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I don't push my beliefs off on anyone, but on the same token, I don't deny my beliefs, because that is like the foundation. My faith is the foundation of what has carried me through this journey. Like literally scriptures that I used to declare out loud and post on social media, like those scriptures became life to me. And I was able to understand and get a deeper revelation of like, oh, so that's what peace that surpasses all understanding. That's what that means. Like I felt that on my journey. I felt God releasing peace that surpasses all understanding, because some of the things that I went through, like after my husband passed away, in addition to grieving him, like some of the things that I found out, some of the things that me and my children had to go through, like nothing but the peace of God kept my sanity. Okay. So the scriptures literally became life to me. So I had to pull from my faith. And I was intentional about that. So what I did was I sat down and I wrote out some identity scriptures. I went to the Bible and I pulled out some scriptures based on identity, who God said that I was, because I had to rediscover my identity. I was no longer Zachariah's wife. I was no longer a married mother of two. I was now a widow trying to figure out life. And I had two children that I have to take care of, regardless of how I feel. And becoming a widow, suddenly it affects your identity. It affects your identity. It affects your self-esteem. I think I did a video on that as well. So I had to get to a place of like, who am I? Like, I don't even know who I am anymore. So I went to the scriptures, which is my faith is my foundation. And I wrote out 10 scriptures that talked about who God said I was. And I read those scriptures aloud every single day. Okay. I read them aloud every single day. Some of the scriptures, Genesis 12:2, I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great and you will be a blessing. Psalm 139:14, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Jeremiah 29:11, this is a lot of people's favorite. For I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper and not harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. So I sat down and I wrote out these scriptures, and I have them in my little book here. And I read them aloud every single day because I need to hear what God says about me. And the more you speak it, the more you hear it, the more it's going to get down in your heart. And then the more you're going to believe it. I needed a reminder of who I was because my identity was affected as a result of becoming a widowhood. So identity scriptures, number one. Number two, declarations. Okay. I had to create some declarations. And what is a declaration? By definition, a declaration is a formal or explicit statement or announcement. It's a formal announcement. When you make a declaration in the earth, it is so. It's going to come to pass. And the more and more you declare it, the more and more you're going to believe it, the more and more you're going to think about it, the more and more it is going to come to life. Okay. So some of the declarations that I wrote out, and the more, even if you don't believe them in the beginning, you write them out and you begin to say them. Okay. One of my declarations, I know, trust, and believe that God really loves me as much as his word says that he does. I have created and lived the life that I always imagined and desired in my mind. I am in full alignment with the purpose and calling that God created me for. Those are just some of my declarations. And again, I have them in my little trusty book here. So how do you heal and recover from widowhood? Number one, you're going to become intentional about your healing. For me, I had to do the work, and I do the work every single day. Number one, my identity. I had to rediscover who I was, who God says that I was. So number one is identity. Number two, declarations. Okay. And then number three, the last one is affirmations. I had to sit down and create some affirmations. Affirmations. And affirmation, what is an affirmation? By definition, the action or process of affirming something or being affirmed. Okay, what does affirm mean? Affirm is to state as a fact or to assert strongly and publicly. So when you say an affirmation, you affirm something, you're stating it firmly, like it is what it is and it shall not be otherwise. So I had to create some affirmations, okay, to affirm myself. A lot of the affirmations that I created were around my finances because that was something that I had to rebuild because my husband was the primary provider of the household. So I had to speak some affirmations and, of course, put some action behind them because we know that faith without works is dead. And I have my affirmations that I speak aloud every single day. Money flows freely into my life. I do not worry about money because when your husband is the sole provider, he passes away and then things start happening like a chain reaction that affect what you're seeing, even though you know that God is not going to let you fall by the wayside. Your natural human reaction is to worry. But I wanted to counteract that natural human reaction and just really, really, again, stand on my faith. So those are 3 of the things that I made an intentional effort to do. My identity scriptures, reminding myself every single day who I am in Christ. Number 2, declarations. Number 3, affirmations. Also, and I'm tying this back into my faith, I believe in prophecy and the prophetic word of God. There are some prophetic words and some prophecy that have been spoken over my life. I turn my prophecies, the prophetic words that have been spoken over my life, into decrees and declarations. So I wrote them out as if they were already so. And I read those aloud as well. I'm not going to share those with you because those are personal. But those are some things that I intentionally did and I do every single day. And over the past year, I have experienced, it's almost been supernatural, an accelerated, almost supernatural level of healing. Although I know that it's a lifelong process, but you could not have told me that I would be in the place that I'm in a year after my husband passed away, a year after someone who I spent 10 years of my life with suddenly passed away. Like you couldn't tell me that I would be in a clear mental state. You couldn't tell me that I would be getting up every morning excited about life. Okay. You couldn't tell me that I would be crystal clear on the purpose and the calling over my life. Okay. You couldn't tell me that I would have created a community for other women like me and be supporting them and pouring into them and thoroughly enjoying it because me pouring into them is aiding with my healing process as well. You couldn't have told me a year ago that this is where I would be. And again, I tie it all back to my faith in who God says that I am, my faith in who God created me to be, my faith in the purpose and the calling that he had over my life before I was even created. So that is how I have been healing and recovering from widowhood. And I want to help you to do the same. If you're watching this video and you don't want to stay in a place of just being stuck or just being knocked down by life. You understand that God has a purpose for your life and you want to fulfill that purpose and you want to grieve, you want to heal, and you want to create a purposeful life after loss. If I'm talking to you, then my 4-week coaching program may be for you. Okay. In my 4-week coaching program, I'm going to teach you all the steps that I took to grieve, to heal, to create a purposeful life after loss, to set some goals, to become clear on what it is that I was supposed to be doing with my time. Because one thing about sudden death is it has you look at time a whole lot differently. You don't waste your time. You don't go off just doing random stuff because you see other people doing it. You get clear and intentional about your purpose and your calling. And if you don't know it, you begin to seek for it because you understand that time is an investment. Time is not guaranteed to us. And we need to be spending our time doing what it is that we were created to do. So I teach all of this in my 4-week coaching program. Okay. It's going to officially launch, meaning it's going to start the first week in February. However, I am taking pre-enrollments now. Okay. If this sounds like something that you're interested in and you would like to learn more about it and you're serious about it, not just thinking about it, not, like, oh, I'm not ready to do it until next year or 6 months from now. But if you're willing and able and ready, and you just need some more information to make your final decision, I want you to schedule a 15-minute discovery call with me. Okay. On this 15-minute discovery call, we'll see what your vision is, what your goals are, where you're at in your grieving and your healing process. And we'll see if we're a good fit to work with one another, if my program and my curriculum is something that will help you. Now, for this first round of the program starting in February, I am only accepting 10 women because this is the beta group. Okay. This means that I'm going to be pouring my all into you. And we're really going to work step by step to get you to a place where your vision is clear, you're working towards your purpose and your calling, and you're making sure that you're maximizing each moment of your time and not wasting time. Because I would tell my husband this all the time. I would say this all the time, like, we don't have as much time as we think. We don't know how much time we have. So to be playing around, to be procrastinating, like, to me, it's just don't do it. So if this is resonating with you and you know that you want to take the intentional steps to start the grieving process, start healing, and to create a purposeful life after loss, I want you to schedule a discovery call with me. I'm going to leave my email address in the comment section. Okay. When you email me, in the subject line, I want you to say 15-minute discovery session. And I'm going to put this in the description section as well. Playtime is over. I created the community last year. I've been nurturing the community, but now it's time for me to go forth and to begin working one-on-one with the women who are serious, who are willing to invest and take responsibility over their own healing. So if that's you, I want you to email me so we can schedule a discovery call. I'll put all the details below in the description section. And I thank you so much for checking out this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn your notifications on. Peace, y'all. Have an amazing day.